So if you look at these, particularly these areas, that they all had like massive growth in the past couple of decades, right? And I think Jet brought up a very good point about the education systems. I think they're not able to keep up. At least if you look at, the university degrees and how education is, wrapped around this, they are not as widespread on these specific topics. Now, if you just go into each of these, right, blockchain has seen like a massive growth, obviously with cryptocurrency, and then so many other technologies being built on top of blockchain. And this is like typically how usually technology works, right? You will have an early adapter communities, you know, going and building stuff on new technologies, on new frameworks like blockchain. So you have had a lot of things coming in the past decade, like DeFi, like NFTs, and then Web 3.0, and these are like also had like crazy amount of adoption. But this adoption always comes from the early adapter community, and to have when such tech is booming, companies want to utilize them, and we've seen great products come out of this also, like in supply chain and in in some other financial products as well, right? So but the problem is, like, when companies want to build them, they have to go after this talent who are largely early adapters and people who find basically get into this space with just interest, right? There is no systematic approach to sort of enriching the talent pool on this ticket. And if you look at other areas, it's very similar to that. Even DevOps, which you think is like a very widely, adapted methodology, and there are a lot of DevOps engineers, but then the past couple of decades we've had like massive growth in the cloud space, right? Like the cloud adoption has been crazy, and tech companies have to be able to build more smoothly and faster, and to do that, adapting agile and the DevOps approach of having so these methodologies and thought process have been adapted a lot by companies, but the tech talent has not grown as much because of there's no systematic way of growing this, and it's all. If you When I talk to engineers, usually maybe blockchain or in DevOps, it's always the case that engineers would have had a software engineering or a electronic engineering or a some other background where they would have learned about something like DevOps, or had a friend who had done DevOps, or had found something interesting, that they would want to adapt, and that's how they've gotten into it most of the time. So I think there is, the rise on this are happening largely because these are great tech or frameworks which have been like sort of making significant change in one way or another, right? And because of that, companies want to adapt it. So yeah, I think we'll continue to see this demand grow.